chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You will hear some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Well, good evening. Yes, Cayman Islands. Yes, good morning, good evening, good night to all of our friends and family over there, no matter what time zone you are in. Yes, it's good to be back with you this evening, the eve of, the eve of Friday. Yes, as we take one step closer, pretty much second by second, and welcome the weekend. But you know what? We live in the moment. It's that time right now. It is 5:02 in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We're broadcasting live, and it's time to get ready for another episode of Sabrina Speaks, where voices of the islands, conversations for the world, and the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration continues to take center stage. Yes, if this is your first time, you're just hearing about me, I am Sabrina. Good evening to everyone, and no matter where you're tuning in from. Yes, you may be at home, you may be from work, or even on the road, because we got those cars now, my love. I'm realizing now, based on your subscription and whatever high-tech stuff you have, hey, I got a few friends out there who can actually listen to podcasts, or, their screens just have up YouTube and they can listen. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you know what? If you're listening to me from the road or from across our beautiful islands, welcome to Sabrina Speaks Live, where we bring clarity, calm, and real conversations, connecting with real people right here. Doesn't matter where you're from around the world as well, that feels like it's shifting. And that is why, yes, we're bringing you this episode today, despite us being connected virtually or not. Yes, we're going to be bringing real conversations this evening to the world that feels like it's shifting every single day. So you're joining the stream. Come in, settle in, get comfortable. We're building the room. We're building that energy and building the community right now as you take your time and ease in. Please don't forget to remember to like and share the page with your friends and family. I posted the links on the CMR WhatsApp channel. So if you're there, those links are right there. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, because today, yes, we are aiming and going to talk about, it's a medley of things. I don't know about you, but with everything that's going on right now, the world is changing so fast, from the heat, the pressure, the global instability, rising costs. And on top of that, we're seeing more and more, it appears, division, more tension, more noise than ever before. Yeah, I'm hearing more and more now people are talking about, for those persons, we are built on a Christian foundation. Revelations is fulfilling. Have you been hearing a little bit more about this? Is it because you're seeing these things, and we here in the Caribbean region, Christian faith is our true foundation? Is it now that what you may have heard in Sunday school, Sabbath school, and whatever meetings and stuff you used to go to attend as a child, through those teenage years and you're just looking at everything that's happening. Yeah. And you're like, oh boy. If you're getting scared, that means you need to go check yourself out. Check yourself out. Because if you are on those foundations and you believe in the word and the Bible and all that sort of stuff, because I'm respectful, you got people who are atheists, you got people of different religions, but I'm just being real right now for the Christian foundation that we in the Cayman Islands have been exposed to. No matter whether you're Presbyterian, Seventh day, Pentecostal, whatever the case may be, you get where I'm going with this. You can't say that it's not getting a little bit real with what we're seeing happening in the world. So, yeah, with everything that's going on, even in the middle of it all, we still need to take a moment. We still have to have unity and share. We still have to have heart. We still have to have each other. So, while the audience builds here, yes, while more jump in on the live, I'm even getting some more of my content creators in Bloom sharing with us in beautiful blooms today, by the way. Yes, I am going to make sure that we cover the local, regional, and international headlines today because today is about strength. Today's about choosing connection over conflict and calm over chaos. That's what the aim is. We'll be going into a medley of stuff, but as the summer edition of open mic season here continues and pretty much in its final days for this week, the mics will remain open. The phone line, will remain open. And yeah, also the mic for you. So join in the conversation. And should there be something that's really, really irking you, 936-8255 is the number to call and be a part of the discussion here. Let's hear your thoughts, how you're feeling, because it is a little heavy. I must say it is. So we got weather, we got news, we got birthday shout outs as well, and all of those good vibes that are coming up shortly right here on the Sabrina Speaks. But you know how we do it. I just got to let you know that this summer edition is proudly sponsored by Bridgepoint Immigration Consulting. Yes, appointments only for professional guidance. Give them a ring or a WhatsApp message, 938-1337, and they are the bridge that helps you move forward confidently in your next chapter. Or, well, do you just need that guidance? They are there for you. Give them a call, 938-1337. Or you can send them a message through that number as well, since everything is pretty much WhatsApp nowadays. Also be reminded that the views expressed by callers, guests, and online commenters are their own, not those of Bridge Media Limited, its affiliates, the Sabrina Speaks Show, or the host. Now, this program is for general information only and not a substitute for legal, medical, financial, or professional advice. All participants are reminded to speak responsibly and respectfully. Any content that is defamatory, discriminatory, unlawful, or harmful is strictly prohibited and will not be endorsed or tolerated. Now, however you're getting us live from this evening, please be reminded, whether you call, you text, you comment on the stream, or you even WhatsApp, that listener participation and viewing participation, call-in participation, whatever, implies acceptance of this disclaimer. I see you all taking your time coming in. It's good to be back with you, like I said, this evening. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for that gentle reminder. Yep, I got you. Whatever the heck this is. I just love this part of the show where my students and my content creators in Bloom, they're so proud to show you what they have captured today. It is amazing. But yeah, you got to stick and stay with me so that you see exactly what's in store today, because we even got to change a little bit today from one of our content creators. But first and foremost, let's take a look at what's happening with our weather forecast, and that's compliments of our friends there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. One thing's for sure. There's no rain in the forecast, and there's definitely immediately radar imagery shows no rain. So yeah, we can say that straight off the cuff. But you know what? Don't leave it to me. Let me tell you what they got to say. The synopsis is calling for an upper level low that is forecasted to enhance the limited moisture at low levels tonight. That says it's increasing the chance of the odd thunderstorms. Now, expected partly cloudy skies tomorrow with gradual increase in showers by the evening or into the night as a tropical waves moves into the area. Like I said, radar imagery at this time shows no shower activity in our area. However, the forecast for tonight is calling for mostly clear skies with a 20% chance of overnight showers and possible thunder. Now, mainly across the sister islands, that is, and temperatures will fall near the low 80s and winds will be northeasterly 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts in and around showers. Now, seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. The forecast for tomorrow is calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunder by the evening. Temperatures will rise near the low to mid 90s with a heat index of 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, winds will be northeasterly 10 to 15 knots and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. There will be a high tide this evening at 9:10 p.m., a low tide at 3:28, and another high is expected at 9:21. Sun is setting this evening at 6:43 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:10. Now, the outlook is calling for the tropical wave to continue affecting the islands into early Saturday morning, bringing a few scattered showers with periods of isolated thunder. There you have it, friends. Yeah, but right now, those radar imageries are clear. I have not seen anything. Of course, you got a few over the higher elevations in Cuba, and you just see it every now and again that the radar captures it. But around us, nope. Absolutely nothing. I wouldn't want to be a weather forecaster at all because what are the odds? We have torrential rains tonight and thunderstorms come in. Hey, they're forecasters, right? Have no control over Mother Nature. That's how we do it here for the weather segment of Sabrina Speaks right here on your CMR TV platform. Now let's take a look at what's making our new segment here today. We always start with local, then we head regional and international before coming around to giving you quick and gentle reminders. And then we do those shout outs as well. And we share that content creation. Then we shout out to all of you. So yeah, comment. Let us know where you're streaming us from today. If you're a first time here to the platform. Yeah. And for all of our regulars, we are so happy that you check in with us. And that's why I take the time to shout you out because trust me, sometimes you feel alone, but when you're commenting and we know that you're there and you let me know that you're there, it is a total different vibe. It is really, really. I got the number up there. Yeah, because we're live, 936-8255. Should you want to do a birthday shout out live, I'm not aware of them. Yeah, later on we will do it. But right now, let's take a look at what's making local news headlines this evening. New publisher at Compass Media. Yes, Pilar Bush has been named the new publisher of Compass Media, taking over from Tip Donnelly. Now, Bush, a well-known Caymanian business leader and communication strategist, steps into the role as the organization continues strengthening its digital, editorial, and community-focused operations. Donnelly, who has led Compass Media through a period of transition and modernization, is handing over responsibilities as the company moves into its next phase of growth. Now, Bush, one of Cayman's most recognizable business and government figures, brings decades of experience across tourism, consulting, and senior leadership. Now, her move places a sitting chief of staff at the helm of the country's oldest newspaper, a shift expected to draw scrutiny as Cayman's media landscape grows more competitive. All the best to you, Pilar. Yeah, looking to see what's more to come. Tropical storm Dolly. And yep, right here. Hold on. Don't get too panicky. Tropical storm Dolly formed in the Atlantic today, becoming the fourth named storm of the 2026 hurricane season. Now, forecasters say that the season remains quieter than usual. That's due to a strengthening El Nino. And at this time, there is no threat to the Cayman Islands. Now, Dolly's name is, coincidental. forming days after the passing of Dolly Parton. As storm names are selected years in advance, residents, however, are urged to stay informed through official local media and trusted government channels as the season continues. In another local news here from the Cayman Islands today, we see the Port Authority and the Ministry of Planning, yes, welcome something new. They successfully carried out a specialized offshore ship to barge transfer on Monday to deliver a new MAN HX-60 logistics vehicle for the Cayman Islands Regiment. Now, the MV Eddystone, too large for local berthing, was anchored offshore as crews safely lightened the cargo lighted the cargo to the barge. Now, Minister J. Ebanks and Deputy Director Brevin Elliott observed the operation, praising the technical coordination and marine planning that ensured a safe, efficient delivery of the oversized equipment. Creek Spot Bay, yes, our sister islands, you're making our news today. It's always good to put the spotlight on our sister islands because Creek and Spot Bay Primary School welcomed students back to the classroom yesterday for the start of the 2026-2027 academic year. Now, Principal Margaret Juman hosted a special assembly at Spot Bay campus, greeting returning students and staff and outlining expectations for a positive year ahead. Now, teachers reported an enthusiastic first day, with students settling quickly into their routines as the school community marked the official start of the new term. And as we go into the next couple of days, we'll be highlighting various schools as they welcome back their children. Once we see it, we're definitely going to grab it. Now, you know, school is back in because this morning was not short of any traffic. What I'm talking about, there was a Hurley-Marin Boulevard collision this morning, and police and emergency crews responded to a two-vehicle collision shortly before 7:15. A motor car and a westbound motorcycle collided near the Red Bay roundabout, causing extensive damage to the bike and major damage to the car. Now, a third vehicle traveling east also sustained minor damage. The motorcycle rider was taken to the Anthony S. Eden Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and remains stable. Now, both drivers tested negative for alcohol, and the rider was arrested on suspicion of driving with a disqualified license. Now, the roadway has since reopened and the incident remains under investigation. Yes, for all of my sky watchers, look up. There's a 96% lunar eclipse for tonight, and I'm talking about you're being reminded. I'm just giving you a gentle reminder that one of the deepest lunar eclipses in years will take place tonight into Friday morning, with Earth's shadow covering about 96% of the moon. Now, viewers across the Americas will have the best visibility this evening, while the United Kingdom and Ireland will see the eclipse in the early hours before sunrise. The moon may appear copper or even deep red at maximum. Now, this is the final lunar eclipse of 2026, and no eclipse this deep will occur again for more than 2 years. So for all of my stargazers, yeah, you are going out this evening for a huge treat. Yeah. So go out and let's hope the weather is clear. Well, I know based on the radar imageries, it shouldn't be any problem for us in the Cayman Islands to see that for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I'll go out and fast, despite me being just of the heebie-jeebies with the jumpers out there. Let's take a look at what's making what I'm talking about regional news here this evening. We start out with Jamaica. Yep, because in Jamaica today, Culture Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange officially launched the BZR Weekend Jamaica 2026, a 4-day celebration of music, culture, food, fashion, and entertainment that is set for October 16th to the 19th. Now, this year's lineup features Cardi B and Friends headlining at the National Stadium on October 18th. Now, her first stadium concert anywhere in the Caribbean. Now, officials says events like BZR Weekend highlight the value of continued investment in infrastructure, safety, and promotion as Jamaica positions itself to attract global talent and compete on major international stages. Out of Haiti today, we see authorities are reporting that violent gang members in Port-au-Prince have killed nearly 50 people in a major attack, many of them Christians, and burned down the sanctuary of an evangelical church. Now, the United Nations Secretary General condemned the violence, noting that 22 of the victims were reportedly executed inside of the church compound. Now, international partners continue to call for urgent action to protect civilians as gang-related activities escalates across the capital. We see where there's a new threat in Nepal because China has warned that Nepal faces a fresh flash flood threat over the next 3 days as a barrier lake formed near the border of Tibet. Now, the lake has already begun overflowing, and officials says a breach could trigger another surge similar to the deluge that swept through that area yesterday. Now, satellite monitoring and regional disaster agencies confirmed the earlier flood originated from a glacier lake outburst in Tibet. Authorities are now watching the barrier lake closely as the risk of a second major flood remains high. And as this unfolds, we will definitely keep you abreast of this. But oh my gosh, the images coming out there are just heart-wrenching. And let me tell you, it took me really hard today. I just had to come off of it. I just couldn't take it anymore. But as I continue with the regional and international news here this evening, we see where consultancy firms reassesses office time. And I'm talking about the Financial Times reports today that consulting executives are considering requiring junior staff to return to the office more often as artificial intelligence takes over more of their technical work. Now, leaders in the sector says that in-person time is becoming increasingly important for developing human skills such as communication, teamwork, and client interaction. This shift reflects growing concerns that younger consultants may miss critical professional development if too much of their workflow is replaced by artificial intelligence. Yes, and as we wrap up this segment of Sabrina Speaks, we see where the world's first live AI-assisted brain surgery. The world's first patient to undergo live AI-assisted brain surgery has successfully had his tumor removed at the University College London Hospital. Now, surgeons used an AI system that analyzed a real-time video feed and highlighted hidden vessels and nerves, allowing them to safely extract the pituitary tumor, threatening the patient's sight. 44-year-old Reese Hibbert is now recovering well, reporting major improvements in his vision and energy. Now, the United Kingdom's health official says the breakthrough shows how properly safeguarded AI can support life-changing medical innovation. That wraps up this segment of Sabrina Speaks this evening. Yes, and I want to thank you all for joining us here this evening. It is good to be back with you this Thursday evening. Good evening to one and all. And let's take this opportunity to sing big birthday shout outs. Yes, big birthday shout outs to anybody who's celebrating a birthday today. We are going to be celebrating with you as well, wishing you many, many more in hopes that, as we wind down the month of August, which OMG has been one busy month. August has been one busy month with birthday celebrations. So happy birthday to all of you celebrating birthdays today. And happy belated for those that we have missed as well. We want to take this opportunity too to recognize those persons who are possibly celebrating. Yep, what I'm talking about. Celebrating anniversaries. Yep, we want to take this opportunity to let you know you are remembered as well during this time. So happy anniversary. We celebrate it here with you as well. Now, I want to take this gentle reminder. Yep, the anti-aging well is going to be taking place on Saturday, 26th from 1 until 7 at Hotel Indigo. This is a free event for the public, but you got to go on to gov.ky OPC to register. There's a form there so that you got to register. This is at a hotel, so they want to make sure that they have enough catering, number one, and that they have enough seating capacity as well. Mr. Roy Bodden will be the keynote speaker at this event, and it is welcome. So welcome and opening remarks will take off at 1 p.m. and it goes until 7 o'clock. So mark your calendars for September 26th, okay? And this is also the time of the year where you nominate an older person. Yes, and this Older Persons Month, Ambassador of 2026, honoring our older persons through action and protection. You can find more information on this, www.dcfs.gov.ky. Yep. Oh, that's long gone. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong image there. But yeah, so there you have it. It is that time as well that I take this opportunity to recognize and acknowledge those persons amongst us who are mourning the loss of a loved one as well. We just want you to know that you're not going through this alone, that our thoughts and prayers go out to all of you who are navigating difficult time at this time. And we want you to know that we're here with you. All of us here on the Sabrina Speaks platform, we are here with you. You are not forgotten. And yep, we are definitely keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. Maybe you are one of those caregivers. We just want you to know that you're not in this alone. We know that is tiring. It can, it strikes at the nerve, at the core. We want you to know that you're not alone and that we're here. We are here for you. And I want to take a gentle reminder. This is taking place tomorrow with Robbie at the Spots Dock. They will be out there playing dominoes and so forth. So anyone wanting to go and show their respects for Robert Keaton, his candlelight, you're encouraged to bring your own candle as well in his memory from 6:30 until 10:30. There are going to be domino games and ludi as well. So that's taking place tomorrow, the 28th of August at the Spots Dock. He will always be forever in our hearts. Yes. And to the family there, the Watson family, Dana, the entire family, our thoughts and prayers go out and are with you as well during this time. So I just like to keep people abreast of everything that's going on. I try to cover as much of these as I can. There we have it. Yes, good evening. Dawn is in the house with us today as usual. Donnie is here with us, and yeah, she is with us, joining us live. Hey, Donnie, how you doing, my sweet? You're beautiful. She's one of her content creators in Bloom. And I tell you, you guys are really, really, really knocking the ball out of the park here. But for those of you, Donnie is the owner of Green Valley Nursery out there in Lower Valley. And let me tell you, for the amount of people that ask me about her and getting her number and stuff, they're open from Monday to Saturday from 7 until 4. 345-926-3311 is the number to call. And look at this beauty that she's sharing with us today. Look at this beauty. Let me get this off the screen so I can just have you full screen. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Donnie is sharing all of these with us. And what am I doing here? I want to get you these images. And look at that. These are all beauties that is there. You can find them at Green Valley Nursery. So if you're on your way up from town and you're in between the hours of 7 and 4, 7 a.m. and 4, Monday to Saturday, stop in. Give Green Valley Nursery a chance to help you design a space if it's anything looking like that. Or maybe it was just that opportunity that you wanted this to enhance a tree, like how she has this here, even though that's in a pot. Hey, look, you just go there, tell her what you want. Sure, take a space that you need to thing. The holidays are coming, even though we're in the height of hurricane season. She can help you design those spaces as well. Yeah, so shout outs to Green Valley Nursery there. one of our content creators in Bloom, sharing the love with us. Yes, Alfred Reel is in the house as well. And he is not sharing any food today with us. He's gotten into the blooming season. Look at what Alfred shared with us today. Now, look at this beauty. So it's not only food. Nope, nope, nope. He shared with us a beauty for today. Alfred is here with us. Hi, my love. It's always good to have you with us. And yeah, changed it up a little bit today on us. This is gorgeous, Alfred. Thank you for sharing that with us. Connie Bonnie is getting back into swing as well. Cameron is in the house. Yes. Some say that conflict is necessary to find peace. Do you agree with that? I'll weigh in on that a little later. Good to have you. Nevertheless, I see once you're here, boy. Oh, Cameron is keeping the lines busy. Can't be lonely with you. Oh no. Oh no. We love it. We love having you here. Damian Henry is in the house with us this evening. Always a man of words. Yes, yes, yes. And what is he saying today? Damian is saying, good evening, all. Discipline is rare because it requires doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. While motivation comes and goes, discipline remains consistent. It is the habit of staying focused, committed, and accountable to your goals. Now, those who develop discipline often achieve success, not through talent alone, but through their ability to keep going when others give up. Oh, thank you for your loyalty, my sweet. Thank you so much. Yes. Oh, very good eye drops. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay. We got some commenters here on WhatsApp that is commenting on Alfred. That Alfred show are very good on eye drops, as said. So people are realizing, yeah. But I notice, let me give a big shout out to Love and Lies with Alfred on Friday evenings at 10 o'clock. Now, it is an adult program. And yeah, don't you think that people are not viewing, even if they're not live? Trust me, Alfred, continue doing what you're doing. You're getting the attention of a lot of people, okay? So I know you're listening, and sometimes you may say, well, oh, Sabrina ain't got nothing going on. She only got 15 people, 20 odd people, 30 odd people. People do come back on demand and at different times. And you will see the views, of course, getting larger and larger. So I love the fact that this is on demand. You can watch it when you want. You can jump on, jump off. You can just go, I just love that. Where you miss out when you are not joining on the live is if you want to participate in real time. That's the only difference. So kudos to Love and Lies. Some really good conversations that he has up there. And I know that people are tuning in and people do listen, even if it's after the fact. So continue, my friend, doing what you're doing here. Part of the Sabrina Speaks, part of the CMR family here, along with myself and the rest of content creators. It's not easy. He does it only on once a week. But I can tell you, as we continue to build and grow, you will see how those viewership go up. Yes, yes, yes. And guess who's back in the swing of things as well? I'm talking about the one, the only Connie Bonnie. She's back, and look at these beauties that Connie has shared with us. Yes, yes, she is here. Good evening, Auntie Sabrina Turner, community activist, and the crew. Look at these beauties that Connie Bonnie has shared. She's back in the swing of things. She was fearing that the content creator in Bloom, Damien, was going to take over her role, but he definitely filled in the gap very nicely. And no, he has not gone away. He has 2 images sharing with us today as well. But these are from Connie Bonnie, showing us all of her beautiful stuff that she has here. So Connie, thank you. Welcome back. And these 2 now are from Damien, who's out and about, definitely keeping us with all of these beautiful blooms and beauties. OMG. Yes, there we have it. Damien is definitely keeping us going as well. So there you have it. Our content creator segment in Bloom continues to bloom. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. Cameron, Don't like the sounds of sirens either. Pilar, okay, I'm gonna just make sure we go through all the comments so we can get in, but into our substantive topic here this evening. Like I said, 936-8255 is the number to call should you want to join in on the conversation. You are always welcome. I'll keep the number posted up there because I know sometimes you forget. You will forget. Yeah, so he's commenting on the news segment. Cameron is saying Pilar gone, be premier one day. He's also saying that and nothing. Should see someone buying last minute supplies on Tuesday. Really? Oh my gosh. People were actually buying supplies for school. Is that what you're alluding to? Okay. Yep. Good evening, Andrew. It's good to have you here with us. Yes, this evening. Blessed Thursday to you as well. Cameron is also weighing in on Haiti. Has been a mess. We can't do nothing about that, but I'm going to report on it. Yeah, so China ready to claim all of that. Years of conflict is now done. It's amazing what is happening though around the world with all of these things. It is just something else. And I mean, for some of the images that are coming out of Nepal, and as the days go by, um, it you can't even describe it. I can only imagine what's really happening on the ground. And we're hoping if we could get someone from the Nepalese communities here. It would have been good. We were trying to reach out to some persons, but whether here or on Sandra in the coming days, the cold hard truth, we are here. Maybe we can do both shows so we get the evening crowd. She do the morning crowd. But yeah, just to give us some semblance of really what's going on. What is really being covered in the news right now is it is heart-wrenching to see what is happening on the ground there. So yeah, but we have a huge Nepalese community here, big enough. They're working amongst us, and often enough, we get them mixed up with Filipinos. It's not until you ask them where they're from that they'll say, no, we're from Nepal. So who you think you're calling Filipinos is not necessarily Filipinos. They could be from Nepal. Nevertheless, for the amount of damage and destruction that has been caused because of this landslide, this glacier that broke away and broke the banks of this gush of deluge of water has wiped out little villages and complete area. The whole topography of there has just changed. A lot of tourists were there, a lot of British nationals, a lot of Americans. There are people from all over the world that were doing tours into that border between China and Nepal. And one of the big buildings, I think Sandra showed it on her show this morning, that was a border crossing, like an immigration building. And that, where those videos and that image, those images that were taken from that, those were real-time CCTV images. And of course, when that cut and it goes to other video is because that's when everything was done. So there were a lot of tourists, Americans, British nationals, Chinese, Indians. Sadhguru, he's like one of these leaders. He normally do tours up into the Himalayas. And apparently he has had a group. He had a tour group of over 80 persons, different nationalities, that the story that he shared on his platform this morning is that a guide, a part of his tour team of 20 years, made contact with base at 9 o'clock, checked in to say that they were all, the group of 80, including his staff, were all at the immigration building. That was at 9. That wall of ice, rock, water, name it, hit that building approximately 9:15. They have heard nothing from just that one tour group alone. And that he called out all of the nationalities that were there with his group of 80. And that included, I know he said UK nationals, American nationals. There were some Indians. There were some people from Nepal. There were some from China. I think Italy as well. but there were all type of nationalities there with that group. So, and we're hearing more and more of these stories. Some of the images, I just have to just pass them very quickly, of babies and elderly people that are trying to be saved in buckets and in cots and stuff, because there was one hospital, the maternity ward, where they're up to almost their chest in water, and you got the rescuers going and taking out these newborns, and it is just so much, and there's just a heaviness around all of this. And yeah, we may be here in the Cayman Islands, but we just still have to be so thankful. We have to still give thanks. We have to recognize what's happening in the world. And yeah, which is why I'm giving it the time and attention and keeping us aware of everything that's happening. But yeah, I know sometimes you just want to disconnect. I had to do that for a couple hours in this content creation and all that sort of stuff. I get a lot of news from different sources. Some I have to double check and all that sort of stuff. But what was coming out of real time, the videos, it was just, I just had to exhale. And yeah, so hey, look who's back with us. Hi, everyone. She says, that's real Michelle Teresa is back. It's been a minute. I hope you're well. So good to see you. You did? Did I miss it? Let's see. Yes, Cameron, what are you saying now? Did we ever find out the results of the outreach program for our Indian embassy brethrens in Jam to help out the undocumented Indians on our shore? I'm not aware of that update, to be honest with you. I don't know, but it's something I can put on my list to check out. I don't know. Hey, Miss Gladys, it's good. Thank you for letting me know you're there. Yes. Damien, Miss Connie is saying thanks. Dawn is saying, welcome back, Connie. Yep. She's done spoiling that little grandbaby. Oh, Real Michelle says, I sent you a picture of my lemon tree in WhatsApp. When? When did you send that? Oh my goodness, did I miss it? Send it back. I'd be more than happy to share it, my sweet. Yeah, I'd be more than happy. Did you? Did I miss that one? Oh my. I hope I didn't. But yeah. But good to have you back with us, my sweet. It's good. It's been a minute. The only one now that I have been missing for a few days is Harry. I don't know where Harry is gone. Yep, I don't know where he's gone. But for all of you just jumping on the live, welcome back. It's good to be back with you here. Yes, because we are seeing. I'm going to be speaking directly and clearly with purpose this evening and acknowledging, even though I went off a little bit into what we're going to cover because it's a medley of things this evening. But of course, at any time, feel free to call in to the show. We want to go live. If there's some information you want to share with us, we're more than happy to stop. The space is yours. This is our space. We just ask for you to remain respectful and, be a part of the community. We would love to hear you. I love when we engage live with our viewers and our audience, and you just share that moment. Of course, that's what makes this place tick. And it's just not me constantly talking. But I get to understand, you say sometimes, Christ, Sabrina, you're boring. But yeah, you say something and we catch on. You bring a lot of things to our awareness. But I can tell you this, as of Monday, we're going back. No, we're going to have those days where we're going to have guests, and we're going to go back now to back in class. All government schools are back from yesterday. We're going to go back in class. We're going to be breaking down the Constitution. We're going to be looking at some of the bills. We're going to be going through those laws. I deliberately stood down because it was the summer. I opened the mic so we could have some fun, and we just bring and talk about, here, even though we mentioned a few here the other day because it was topical. But yeah, we're going to go back to what you're accustomed to. We'll still have those days where we could have open mics drop in here or there. We will have guests coming on board, promoting certain things. The season is building, and we will have other guests coming on at different intervals. But in between those times, we're going to be going back with information sharing, civic awareness. I'm seeing where people now, before I go into this whole thing and weigh in on this, this is one of the things that we need to ask. I've dropped the question here before. Based on what is happening now, there is some group that has, why don't I see that? There is something about a group, an inclusion of the LGBTQ. There's something else added on to that. There's a group. The governor posted it. And I saw on Everything 345 where a young man is saying, look, he ain't got no problem with it. That's totally up to their business. But if we're going to be formalizing groups and organizations like this, the time has come for us to look at extending hours on Saturday nights. And it may have come across comical in this post, but I feel wholeheartedly that gentleman is saying a number of things that a lot of other people are saying. What he's asking for, just extend at least until 2 a.m. You don't have to go till 4, but at least 2 a.m. on a Saturday night into Sunday morning. Because if we're actually embracing this, giving and respecting and inclusion, you need to ease up on those liquor licensing laws, music playing laws as well. And this requires your feedback. This requires your feedback. And I brought it up here more than once before about Sunday trade, because we were seeing where there was some blurred lines as to who can open, who can operate business on the islands on Sunday. It is our tradition. We're built on Christian heritage and all this sort of stuff. Now you're having on various social media platforms other persons now that are speaking out saying, look, we have embraced this, whether or not you feel it was thrown upon us, whatever the case may be. All we want to do is to be able to go out on a Saturday night and do not have to lock down at 11:30 to be off and closed by 12 o'clock. And I feel it is coming to a point where the community, business owners, and persons who are living here have come to the harsh realization that you need to have the bigger conversation and amend the necessary laws that will allow music and liquor to be sold beyond midnight on a Saturday night into a Sunday morning. I can respect, and I'm not advocating for one way or the other. I'm just putting it out there. And if you're going to have people breaching the laws anyhow, and there's laws that are in place that are not being upheld at this time, and you have sound reasoning and justification and arguments from both sides. But if we are including certain things and they're galvanizing and they're getting organized, there's nothing wrong with looking at legislation and easing that up when it comes to Saturday into Sunday as well. So I will bring that up tomorrow as open mic and embracing the community. And we know the late Nolly, he was a big advocate, the Cayman Islands Aid Foundation, which is a NPO, that's a private nonprofit organization. And now what they're trying to do is to try to get that back together. And we saw where images are in circulation with this group meeting with the governor of the Cayman Islands. And now that has brought conversation again, national conversation. Well, look, this is what's happening. Okay, ease up the nightclubs. You see what's happening? You see what's happening. All it's going to do if we don't address these things and looking at it wholeheartedly, it's going to cause people then to just do as they please. Because right now you cannot say that it's not fair game and that it's not sound. Yes, the laws are there. Yes, they need to be upheld, but you can't wrong people for saying, well, if we're accepting of this, but you could tell us we have to close down at midnight because you expect all of us to attend church on whatever day, something is not right. It's not adding up. So I think nationally, the time has come where the Sunday trade now laws, music and dance, sale of liquor needs to be addressed as we see other areas. And you don't want the community, the society to become that boiling point where you have lawlessness going on and they just feel like it is not fair. And when it may sound petty right now, But this could be going down a slippery slope if we don't address it in balance with Sunday trade. We see where people should have the choice. More and more, you're hearing people saying that business owners and operators right now, based on the square footage of businesses, if you're over 3,000 square foot, 4,000 square foot of selling space, retail space, you can't open on a Sunday. That is a minor tweak if you look at some persons in the business that can be made with the law so that by choice, should the bigger stores want to open on a Sunday, they can. Liquor and dance, sale of all of those. These are not huge changes. But yes, of course, public participation and public dialogue is welcome. Now, we do not want it should this get the ears of those policymakers to get Christians against those who want to party, those who live their life how they want. What I am getting is that people just want to have choice. They're going to do it anyway. Anyway. Right now, across the islands, it is even hard to identify sometimes when you look at traffic, what day of the week it is. Yes, there's a little less, but what I'm saying is things and times have changed. And now we do not want, because of a group organizing themselves, and we knew how of a national display and what topic was brought about with these groups of people, the LGBTQ community, and how the laws, we knew where that went. I don't have to bring that back up again of what our island went through with that. But now, again, it's topical, it's making its headlines, and now people are still fighting for their livelihoods who are in the music and dance business, and you just got the patrons as well who are advocating for business owners alike. They may not necessarily want to come publicly and say, look, I would support it, I would open. They are making their contributions in private and otherwise to policymakers. But at the end of the day, just how they're doing these public consultations and want your feedback, yeah, just don't leave it to when it becomes a debate on the floor or a private member's motion come up and then it becomes topical. We're seeing everything 3, 4, 5 where people are weighing in. And if that is your way of getting your word out there, well, then we'll have to see more of those posts come up. And then that's a semblance, because you all see these posts. You see these posts on the various social media, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, you see. So I think the time has come that we need to really visit it and stop being fearful of, oh, well, I don't want to upset the church community. I don't want to upset this particular group. Hello. Public engagement, education is key. And at the end of the day, if you're fearful of losing your seat, a national call is calling for, let's open it up. Yeah, that's a bit selfish. That's a little bit selfish. So I would only encourage all of those persons who are brave enough and who feel that strongly about extending the hours of business on a Saturday into a Sunday, sale of liquor and the playing of music. If you want those legislations to be revisited and changed, and you want to start that public debate, now's the time. Now's the time. So one person that I saw on Everything 345 today, just crying. I mean, he made a post, and kudos to him. Kudos to him. But yes, we are going to be in here. And like I said, if there's anything else that's bugging you, 936-8255 is the number to call. And this is not about religious, non-religious. This is what's going to happen. This group of people, like I said, for those of us who are out and about, let me tell you something. I think some of the loudest noises need to just have a conversation with some of their own family members when they go missing or not in church on a Sunday or a Saturday. They're out enjoying the life. They're out enjoying brunches and all of this sort of stuff. It is what it is. We have changed. If they want to go to church, they go to church. If they don't want to go to church, they're not going to go to church. They're still doing what they want anyhow. So, yeah, we got bigger issues to look at. I agree. But these are people livelihoods as well. And more, I'm seeing businesses opening on Saturday. Oh, yeah. Hello. Would they fall under the section of the law that that says, okay, you're selling souvenirs, or it is a case where you're selling gas and stuff, medication and all? No. You see what I'm saying? I support it. That's sometimes the only time you can get out to go and do your own shopping. So kudos to all of you who are taking it into your own hand. I am not advocating for you to break the law, but it just goes to show where the time has come. There are others doing it. They're in breach of the trade and business law. They're in breach of certain other legislation, and they're getting away with it. So what's the sense of having these laws in place? They're not being enforced, and there is an appetite. There is an appetite from our community, from our locals that are patronizing these businesses. And those businesses should not be opening, looking over one shoulder, fearful of being hit because they're breach of the law when you got other issues at hand and you're blocking people's bread. So I say kudos to all of you who are doing it. And I'm appealing to the policymakers, to lawmakers, to just for once look at this. This is going to be an issue as we see time goes by. And if you want people to adhere to the laws, then you amend the laws with public feedback and discussions accordingly and in a timely matter, at a timely pace. Because we must admit, things and times are changing, and people are going to do what they got to do to survive. It's just that simple. Andrew is saying, we have over 100 different nationalities here with different cultures and customs. How do we strike a balance with putting regulations for business entertainment for everyone, including Caymanian people? Andrew, we're not even looking at it from that particular of how much cultures and nationalities that are here. Our own Caymanians, our own business owners are suffering because of some of the rigidness in the legislation that we have in place that are in many cases being broken anyhow, and nobody is being held accountable. So it's either we're going to relax it, Andrew, or we're going to amend it so these people can do what they're doing legally. I'm not even looking at blending or changing to fit any nationalities. I'm looking at our own Caymanians who are in business, who have the appetite, who have the demand for persons to actually support their business, that are wanting to do it. But the real open conversation has not been had. Why should it have to take a formalized LGBTQ community to come together to say they're going to resurrect this group, this body, to then bring up the liquor license, music and dance, and extension of business hours? That should never be the reason that pretty much spins this, when this has been brewing for a while. Now it looks like it's a tit for tat. Well, if you give them, you got to give us. When that, it should never have had to get there. And I know you're saying about different nationalities and different cultures, but would you call that a culture? When you're accepting and having necessary legislation in place to deal with the LGBTQ community? Is that a culture? That's a preference. Okay. And out of due respect for those people, I have absolutely nothing against those people. But I just say, be fair, be balanced, and have the conversation. Have the conversation. Just as how they're looking to galvanize themselves, that their laws there protect them. Why don't we look at that when it comes to our own Caymanians having to operate their own business? Why is it so difficult to look at it from that perspective as well? I will bet my bottom dollar that if the legislation was amended to expand or allow businesses beyond that 3,000, 4,000 square foot to open on Sundays, you would be floored how much businesses would actually open. You would be floored. Or if they were to be honest, I know people are saying, oh, we need a break. And I can assure you, people are in there working anyhow on the weekends. They're working anyhow on the weekends. As we see things continue to modernize and grow here, we will see these pressures continue. And this is a sign where the time has come for the conversations to be had. You see that article that we had about them trying to offload this big piece of equipment for the regiment. And because this boat couldn't dock, they had to do logistics and all this sort of stuff. We could go back to the port again. I'm not pro and I'm not against. I'm just having the real conversation. Cruise berthing, cargo facility. The conversation is going to be had again. And we need to just be able to come to the mature stance at some point as a country, as a community, as citizens, to know when the time is right to have certain conversations. Control the narrative. Control it. And the time is now with everything that we're seeing. We're seeing people struggling to make ends meet. We're seeing what's happening in the geopolitical space. We're seeing all of that. And we are not throwing out the baby with the bathwater when it comes to our culture and where we have come from. No. I remember Sundays where my mama used to go to Ladies to get her hair done. Isn't that doing business? Some people still go every Sunday to get their hair done. That's operating a business. That was a Sunday tradition. Yeah. I'm just saying we need to look at it, but do not use, because it's going to come out of anger, and we do not want that in our society, that you're using this LGBT group to say, well, keep pointing the finger at them. That is not fair to that group either. That is not fair to that group. If you know it is busting at the seams, that we need to have the talk about extending looking at the laws for Sunday trade, playing of music, and the sale of alcohol later on from a Saturday night into a Sunday. It is not fair to that group, is all I'm saying. Real Michelle is weighing in here this evening. With the rising cost of living, keeping businesses closed on Sunday pushes those trying to make a living. Why have a law that serves no purpose and is not enforced? It's an archaic law. Yes, you're quite, well, it's happening. It's happening. We see the promotions on Facebook, and because it was one article that a follower, a supporter of the Sabrina Speaks show had sent to me, and I brought it up one day. And now, like I said, I brought it up, and I made, I can remember calling someone, and I said, this is what's happening. Those businesses continue to open and nobody is doing it. And now I'm seeing other businesses, kudos to them, opening on Sundays. I applaud them. There are Caymanians. They are our Caymanians. And it's our Caymanians that are shopping and supporting each other, because that's sometimes the only time. Some of these people, it's after they come out of church that they go to the shop. So it's not that they're still not going to church, if that's where the primary focus is going to be. But at least they have that flexibility to know that they can do what they want in the morning, and still mid-afternoon, early evening, they can go, if these businesses choose to open, and do some shopping, hang with some friends. Yeah. And support our locals. I applaud, but all I'm saying, it's not fair. It is not fair to the group, the LGBTQ community, that this Sunday trade, extension of music and license, is borne at their expense. We have our leaders. We need to look at this, because it's going to continue to bring a divide, bring this animosity in our society that is really not necessary if we are mature about having the conversation and just looking at it for what it's worth. Miss Anita is weighing in. Hi, I'm late to the conversation. What's the topic discussion this evening? Thanks. Miss Anita, with everything that's going on right now globally and so forth, it's a medley of things. I was looking at just with everything that's happening around the world, how unity, limiting hate, comes together. At the end of the day, we are who we are. We're human beings, and we want to take off that label, bring an awareness to the local impact that it has, these global disasters. And if you think that these are not impacting us, yes, we have persons from Nepal, for example, that are working amongst us in our restaurants. Many of them have served me at local restaurants and stuff that I go to. And when you engage with them, you realize that they're from Nepal. So yes, it has a local impact on us. And then we're going to look, then I wanted to just get into talking about the forecast and Cayman's climate reality and impact on that. So it's a medley of things, but we still have open mic here. Whatever's on people's mind, Miss Anita, they can call in if they so desire. But I remembered just before coming live, I saw something on Everything 345 with a gentleman it was a bit comedic, but what he was saying had value in regards to extending trade of music and allowing, you know, the sale of liquor and partying Saturday into Sunday till at least 2 o'clock, not necessarily 4. And that's where I went into. And then as I got, I'm responding to the comments here. So nothing specific this week. We are still continuing with the open mic here as we wind down the summer edition open mic of Sabrina Speaks. And the phone lines are open. But yes, I still have to have content. So I'm just doing a medley of things today because for some reason, with everything that's happening around the world, geopolitical, otherwise weather related and all this sort of stuff, there's like a sense of heaviness. And yes, people who are God-fearing and know the Bible and believe in those teachings are saying, look, this is the end of times. It's not fair, people. We're seeing where more and more now that even I saw an image in Walmart where they're selling buckets, pails, so that you can start stockpiling of stuff, not to create a panic. But yeah, it's just so much happening around the world right now that I just thought I would just bring certain things to people awareness. And we got into this because of that post that I saw on Everything 345. But the bottom line to that is that I don't feel that the LGBTQ plus whatever these acronyms are, and I'm not being rude, that should be, they should be the ones to, again, because you give them this, you got to give us that. They shouldn't be used as a wager. Because this talk about extending the music and dance, we see where it's not being upheld anyhow. Might as well you just free it up so that people not acting outside of law. And I'm in support of it being fair across the board. And if people are asking for the laws to be amended, just take it out and just have a national conversation. Yeah. But it's good to have you here with us, Miss Anita. Real Michelle is saying it's not fair. It's not a fair law if the law does not apply to all business owners who are trying to make a living. Stores must close, but income keeps rolling in for those who work from home. There you go. Andrew's weighing in and saying, precedents and human rights we need to take into consideration when people are living here. If a select group of individuals should say that they have to shut down business and start worshiping in public spaces here as their religion a custom, what do we, the people, do? Now, religion is one thing now. Why? The Constitution speaks about that, freedom of expression and the respect of religion as well. Now, hello. You don't want it to be where it is a case where we are singling out. And this is where it is a fine line where you're asking for your rights. And then you're looking at the laws and you're saying it's okay for this group, but it's not good for this group. Where do you draw the line? Now, this is where it's going to be something, because we're seeing where religious communities, there's this rift, there's this fight. Then you got people are saying that some of these people who are labeling themselves as a certain religion is not even a real religion, and that it's negative and it's causing alone havoc. I'm not here to judge any one particular religion. I am looking and keeping focus where it is considered fair, and we have an opportunity to get it right. It's just simple by amending the necessary laws and obeying our constitutional rights. Simple. It boils down to that. It should not get to the point where we're splitting hairs. Oh, well, this denomination, that religious organization, that. If you are aligning your laws with what your constitution says. Our problem is we are more a reactive society than we are proactive. Andrew, I'm glad you went here because this is a conversation that is brewing. And if we don't address it and making sure that our substantive laws aligns wholly and solely and squarely with the Constitution, I can assure you we will be challenged. And the only one's going to lose is the people. All I'm saying right now is get ahead of it. There are a lot going on, but the more we have our laws that are in place and not holding them, not gatekeeping, not enforcing it all the time, is the more it's going to be not observed, and people is going to take our laws for a joke. Because there are certain restrictions right now that is in law that are being broken, you can say every Sunday, and who is holding them accountable? So what do you say? You're either going to amend it to legalize these people, or you're going to do what you got to do to enforce it. We can't just sit on the fence is all I'm saying. And in regards to what you're alluding to, if you want that to change, then the definition of religious and religion, looking at the Constitution and looking at what laws that allows churches, however you define them, that needs to align. And if you're going to amend the Constitution or the laws where definition then removes a certain group, where the definition excludes certain beliefs, I suggest we get some serious legal opinion. Or the silent majority can no longer be silent, and as a nation, we come out and we stand for what we believe in. That's all it's going to take. The more we sit and be quiet and see things like this happen, is the more we are going to be laughed at. Yeah. Miss Brenda is weighing in. Andrew Campbell, when you go to Rome, you do as the Romans do. But right now, my love, we have the laws that not even our own is actually upholding, Miss Brenda. What we're saying and what is actually happening on the ground, Miss Brenda, is not a reflection of what is in our laws and regulations. And that's where it's not aligning. The behaviors, the actions, the culture of our society is no longer aligning with what our laws are saying. And people are living. People want choice. People want freedom. People want to not break the law. But if the laws that are there right now are not being upheld or enforced for whatever reason, then you might as well amend them to not make people break them. Otherwise, you will be challenged. And I can assure you, based on evidence, the Crown will lose. Because there's already a precedence being set. You just need to get the right legal representation. The Crown will lose. So, I'm all for choice. I'm all for respect. But I agree with what you're saying, Miss Brenda. if everything was back to the 1980s on a Sunday here in the Cayman Islands, Miss Brenda, wholeheartedly. But that is not who we are right now, I'm telling you. The real Michelle Teresa is saying there should be no mingling of religion and state. Lawmakers should stay away from enforcing one faith over the other. Christians practice the Sabbath, but I don't think Buddhists, Jedists, is there more? Do. Faith is personal. Faith is a personal matter, and religion has no place in the matters of state. That's why there are 5 estates. But if your laws that we have here governing any country are not aligning when it comes to enforcement, what's the sense of having them? They just can't be for some and not for everybody. And that is where we're losing our grip. That's where we're losing our grip. You either got them and enforce them, or outside of that, it's a joke. And people will take an inch, in an inch, in an inch, until it becomes a yard. And then eventually, we become a joke in our own country. That's where it's going. That's where it's boiling down to. Andrew said, I agree with you, Brina. However, people are coming into our house and dictating what they want. It's like I come to your house and going into your refrigerator or your pot. You could probably get away with it. But I get what you're saying. And I get what you're saying. Like I said, I'm bringing this up here to get the conversation going, because me and you talking about it, I'm bringing it out for public awareness. You giving your opinion. Other people are giving their opinion. And for the most part, the majority is silent. Who you think is going to win? Those are of who making the most noise at the end of the day, or those who make no noise and then leave it up to somebody. But you never get a true reflection of really what the nation wants. These are some very uncomfortable conversations to have, People are, for whatever reason, fearful. They're targeting. They don't want to speak openly because they could be identified. But we can't continue to live like this and expect to live exactly what is being described, like Miss Brenda say, when you come to Rome, you do as the Romans do. We're seeing what's happening. There is an erosion of respecting our laws. There's an erosion for our culture. I'm only bringing an awareness to what is the obvious. What is the obvious? So for anyone knows me, I was born and raised into a Seventh-day Adventist home. I made my own choice. That is still my religious choice, personal. But for me, if I want to do my shopping on a Saturday, I'm going to go shopping. If I want to go to church on a Sabbath, I go to church. If I want to go and visit with a friend, to Catholic, to Anglican, in which people know I have been to every one of them, even the one across from Tortuga. I love the vibe in there on a Sunday. I go, but I know who I am. And I'll be on the dance floor the Saturday night. And if anything, and I want to go out on a Sunday, I'm going out on a Sunday too. And throw my leg once they open. And if, throw a leg once the business is open. Please don't misread that. And God forbid, if they're playing the music, I could dance too. Yeah. That's choice. That's all people want. Or guess what? You have a barbecue in the back of your yard and you still do the same thing. You could do your own brunch. That's all I'm saying. People want the choice. And right now, if the laws that we have here in our island is just there on a piece of paper and they're not being enforced, and you have persons that are acting, trading against those laws, and they're not being enforced, then what's the sense? That's the bottom line of what I'm saying. Just trying to get by is saying every day we stray further and further away from the Lord. But how many? Yes, I agree. But we have the same persons who are out there with an absolute and cranberry, a dark rum in Coke, a gin and tonic. Many times they are bringing up some of the real conversations and saying, guess what? Boy, revelation fulfilling, You would be surprised how much of them are there just having a meds and they are talking about, yes, the Lord in church and reminiscing, and it's not in a drunken stupor. Some of them probably have better relationships and personal relationships with whoever they choose to worship, more than those who are tearing down these doors and probably standing up behind a rostrum on a Sunday. But they're being judged because they so choose to not necessarily look like the Christian, speak like the Christian, eat and drink like the Christian. And this is not coming against any Christianity. You can't talk to me about the Lord. I'm just fair. That's all I'm saying. I'm just fair. If my mind hit me and Saturday I want to get up and I want to go visit any one of the Seventh-day Adventist church, guess what? They're going to open and welcome me with open arms just so that I am praising and serving the Lord. When I finish that, I could come home, change my clothes, and go cabana and sit down and have myself about 3 gin and tonics. You see what I'm saying? And I could do the same thing on a Sunday. Visit another church. And by the time that finished, or if they're going too long, hey, exit stage left. Hey, friend, you want to meet me here? Where we going? We going country tonight? That's my personal choice. But those places that I'm supporting, if they want to open, they shouldn't be put in the position where there's an appetite for me to visit them on a Sunday, and they got to be looking over their shoulder because the laws are not aligning with the demand. That's all I'm saying. Yes. Miss Anita, what is the present law regarding Sunday trade? The present law regarding Sunday trade is so wide. They have done multiple amendments to it, Miss Anita. But in regards to retail, those licensed like the hotels and so forth, they're allowed to play and sell liquor, of course, because it is a tourist industry. I think that's from around 11:30, 11 o'clock in the day. And then you have the local licensed bars and stuff. That's from around noon. And they're allowed to play live music, but within a certain level. It shouldn't be blaring and that sort of stuff. In regards to retail, when it comes to the supermarkets, any business, retail business that is over, it's between 3,000 and 4,000 square foot of retail space, meaning selling space, they can't open still, according to law. But any one of the businesses on the waterfront, gas station, repairs, pharmacy, anything that has to do with souvenirs or considered there for a link to tourists and stuff like that, medical facilities and all this sort of stuff. If you look at who can open, Miss Anita, it is wide open. Car repairs, all of these sort of stuff. They can open. They choose not to. But right now, with the amendments over the time that they have included, this one is waived, they can open, that one can open. But if you're just a common retail store just selling clothes and nothing to do with souvenirs, by right, you're not supposed to open. No, you're not. So it is a very fine line that just needs to tidy up. If you look at all of those businesses and what they're doing, who have been given this exemption, this choice to open, you might as well open. But where people get it mixed up, Miss Anita, is because the playing of music and the selling of liquor, that sweet spot is the Saturday into the Sunday and Sunday of opening. So it's multiple pieces of legislation that has to be looked at if they want to revise it. But if you look at all of the businesses who are selling stuff, it will floor you what businesses can operate on a Sunday that they have amended over time that they choose not to open, but it's not that they can. Where the demand is on the Sunday is where we're having the problem. And that's the playing of music and the selling of liquor for certain establishments, live bands, that sort of stuff. That is where, and it starts then from 12:01 Saturday night into Sunday, let's say midday on maybe a little later. That's where those, and it is either 2 or 3 separate pieces of legislations that would have to be looked at if we're going to keep it as it is or is minded to amend it based on public feedback. Real Teresa says, if the Sunday Sabbath is about going to church, why not make a law obligating church attendance rather than encroach on people's liberty to earn an income, ability to earn an income? Michelle, this is really bigger than me, and a sense where it is just a lack thereof or fair thereof, which is, I feel, bottom line, is selfish. Anyone who knows me, who sat with me, and I'm quite sure some of them are listening, will know they would say, look, I think people have the choice when it comes to Sunday trade. And then you would see them kind of coming up, well, no, my constituency, boy, we have a lot of people who are church and stuff like that. And I'm like, really? So you really support it, but you're more concerned of getting reelected because of the demographics, and you're not looking at the greater good when you could probably have family members or friends in your constituency that earned a living from it just couldn't make sense to me. I mean, I am looking at it through a wider lens, and I'm not being rude when it comes to religion. No, I'm not. I just feel at the end of the day, people need to have choice. Cameron is saying, sorry, I stepped away for a bit. Who is Miss Brenda troubling now? Oh, you stop it. Miss Brenda, like I said, the law must be made, designed, and enforced according to the Cayman Islands, not the rest of the world. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But Miss Brenda, guess what? If we, the people, do not contribute, if we don't speak out and say really what we want and have all sectors of our society weighing in and participating, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss it. And then just complaining is not going to solve the problem either. Just trying to get by. I think Caymanians laws have always been a joke to begin with. Most of the laws in Cayman are outdated and baked in hypocrisy. Okay. Cameron says, even a Rasta man in the bush, church always open. I know Jesus, and he was he was a gangster, one of the good ones. Come on, Cameron. Yes, Sabrina. Don't tell me about Jesus. I have a personal relationship. Yeah. I have to give account from me, you know. They ain't going to brand me based on where I come from and what laws and stuff our governments put into place or what our constitution says. Whatever faith you believe in, and what about those atheists? What about those who just like, look, I'm just getting up every day living. You can't beat them up. That's their choice. For those of you who read the Bible and have Christian faith, and you read it and you have this strong faith in this connection with that higher power, we know what the Bible says, that everyone will have to give account for themselves. Once that is fulfilled, everyone will have to give account for themselves. But until such time, the more rigid you have certain legislations that doesn't reflect the majority of your country and laws that are not being enforced, it is a recipe for disaster. And all it's going to do is to cause more illegal activity and create more societal divide. Lean and straight. Just trying to I say it's hypocritical when in Cayman they say freedom of speech. But if you insult the modesty of a woman, you go to jail. You know, yeah, that is something for true. Andrew says, well, can you imagine if the Cayman Islands only accepted Christian people into our islands? No bars, no clubs, no music, no dominoes, just shops and churches? I like that you asked that question. I like it, but you're quite right. Imagine Islam. Anita says, priced right, meaning, yeah. Oh, for price right, Foster's and all those sort of stuff, Miss Anita, they can't open right now because under the current trade and business laws, their selling space, their retail space where we walk and we push our carts is more than 4,000 square feet. So, no, under the current legislation, any retail space like that that's over a certain square footage cannot open on a Sunday. That's what the law is saying, which is why they don't open, because their retail selling space, like Price Right, costs you less, and all of them, Hurley's, they don't open. Kirk's, they don't open if they wanted to, because their retail space is over 3,000 to 4,000 square foot. That's why. So if that was indeed the case, the law would have to change. That would open up, that would remove the square footage of retail space. That's what that amendment, as you alluded to for Price Right, that amendment would have to be made to the law to remove the square footage. And then it opens up for everybody who have a retail space that exceeds that square footage. They would have a choice. Now, these laws could be amended, and let's say based on family values and traditions, they say, look, we're not going to open. But at least it's not so rigid that if they want to open, that they're limited because of a square footage that is in the law. And many would seem is just antiquated. Yeah. Real Teresa Michelle says, unfortunately, more and more Christian churches are being exposed of criminal activity. One does not need to go to church to find God. I find him while I was on my knees crying on the bathroom floor. There you go. Oh, yeah. And sometimes the best place to win souls is exactly on the dance floor. And still some of those places that people will look at you and turn up their nose. Some of the sweetest people, and they can quote you and they know the Bible better than me, are right there. I have come across a few. Cameron says inflation and crime can increase, but not commerce. Real Michelle is also saying liquor and music should be regulated if it affects resident, but if the venue is not near residents, then let them be merry. Many of the places, that is where the restriction can come in, because in some residential areas, you will have persons who just feels like they want to blare their music and they could be disturbing the peace. Now, that's a total different, that's in residential areas. In these commercial premises and areas and stuff, you wouldn't necessarily find them in close proximity to what is designed under planning law as residential. It will be more than likely commercial, low high density, industrial, commercial, but not residential. What I am saying right now is that those loud musics and stuff like that, and even if you're having a private party and you choose to do that beyond 12 o'clock on a Saturday into a Sunday or even during the Sunday, residents have a right to call the police and they will come. You could be charged. You could be fined if you're playing music too loud and all that sort of stuff, right? They're not wrong. They're not stopping you from having your parties in your place. I have been to a number of parties where the police have showed up because neighbors, it all depends on how the wind is blowing. It's way down. And yeah, the neighbors call and say, look, it's after 12. Why is the music so loud? And then the music is turned down so that who's on the dance floor wants to stay. But there's a vibe when it's a little bit up. It does kill the mood sometimes, but out of respect, when you're in these residential areas, that's why it's good to have good neighbors, maintain good relationships. And if you know you're going to have a party like that and you're in a residential neighborhood, extend the invitation if you have a good relationship with them. Let them know in advance that you'd be having a party or an event. You're going to be playing music. You're asked their blessing, you asked their support, yada, yada, yada. It's give them a time frame, but be reasonable as well. And normally when that is happening, some of these house parties are tradition. But as we see persons sell and move, and other people who are not a custom of our tradition move into some of these residential communities, then the havoc begins. And that is where you're having then the rift between us and them, and this sort of stuff. Again, learning the culture, knowing the community that you in, understanding and knowing your neighbor is key, is key. But open communication and respect is a total different thing, and it makes the world of a difference. I could be honest with you. Music and liquor license should be regulated if it affects. Okay, yeah. Cameron saying economic propaganda. We have the right to make money anytime. Money is being spent. Cameron, tax. Contribute by talking and complaining, pay on the taxes. Anita is saying, I believe individuals should have choice. I strongly believe that workers should have a day off. Of course, in accordance to labor law, Miss Anita, yeah. The day off would still be mandatory, whether or not people open 7 days a week. Let me give you an example. For example, I was a nurse. I was an immigration officer who worked shift. I didn't have a typical Monday to Friday work week, 9 to 5. We did shift. You know what I'm talking about. We still got our days off, right? It's the same thing. If we're open 7 days a week, you would just rotate the days off, and it wouldn't be your standard work week where it's a set every Sunday you're off because we're not open. You may have a day off in the week, be either Wednesday or Thursday, you rotate, and out of each month, based on the organization and their policies, they can make sure then that they, out of fairness, at least one weekend out of the month, you guarantee your staff to get off. But trust me, this is not rocket science. Human resources professionals, should the law be changed, and Sunday trade is allowed, and people are allowed to open 7 days a week, no matter what industry you are in, human resources professionals and businesses would tailor their policies accordingly. But when it comes to the labor laws, that is enshrined in our laws that at least 1 day of the week must be given. Yeah. So that will be the case. Be it Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, or Sunday, etc. Yeah, you're right. It is in the law. That is in our local laws that they have to be given a day off. We're being stung alone in a line we can't cast. Cameron, hopefully Pilar can deal with Andre and make the things happen. You is a real blender. Neighborly love needs a revival. Yeah, we used to have a lot of that back in the day, Cameron, but we're seeing where our communities and neighborhoods are changing, and we're seeing it now that you don't even know. Sometimes people don't even know who's living right beside them. They don't know. Andrew saying Pilar Bush has been appointed as publisher for Cayman Compass news station. Yeah, that was a part of our news. That was the first story that we presented here in the news segment today. Congratulations to her. And yeah, that she was chief of staff in the office of the premier. So now that position right now, until further notice to our abilities, not public knowledge, who has taken that position in the office of the premier. But that is a key role in the office of the premier as chief of staff that is now obviously with her now taking on this new role that is vacant. So I'm expecting in days to come that from the office of the premier, some announcement will be made of their intentions or who they're going to appoint to replace Ms. Pilar because that position now remains vacant. So yeah, let's see. I want to wish her all success on her new role for sure. I heard she's the premier's right hand, lass, as per CMR. Yes, Cameron. She was there, and she was a political appointee, and she held that position. This would be 2 administrations because she was there during the 2021, 2025. Yeah, my time. And then she went back into the same role. So yeah, she's no stranger to the role for sure. But obviously right now with what is there, yeah, she played a key role there in strategy and just making sure she was right. She's definitely in the loop for the premier, for sure. But now that position remains vacant at this time, and I'm quite sure we will hear from them in short order. Miss Brenda says, Sabrina, have you heard about the fire? Where? Engulfing Superior Parts dealership in Hagley. Oh, yes, I saw it in a video. I didn't know what it was. It was just somebody on a road. And they said big fire in Hagley Park. It looked as though, Miss Brenda, it had just happened. But you've given me a little bit more. I'll have to follow that up a little later, and I'm quite sure CMR platform, the news channel, will definitely share that in a moment. But share with me what is the thing? Oh my gosh! Engulfs Superior Parts dealership on Hagley Park Road in St. Andrew. Ah, that's on fire. I saw the image that I saw, Miss Sandra, Miss Brenda, was this big plume of black smoke. But like I said, it was somebody who captured it from a distance, and it was unsure because it wasn't like one of the media sources what it was at the time. So thank you for sharing that with me. I'll have to follow that up momentarily here, but I'm quite sure if you're a part of the CMR WhatsApp team, I'm quite sure Sandra will have that story up in short order. Yep. It's not there yet. Yeah. No. So I'm quite sure she will have that story up in a little bit for sure. But thank you for letting us know. Andrew is saying people playing numbers on Sunday and every day, even church people. Andrew, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing, Andrew? Okay, you see what I'm telling you? You see where the conversation is going? Andrew. Oh gosh. Let me read it. People playing numbers on Sunday and every day. Isn't that illegal? Okay, hold on. Even church people, full stop. Laws are made and broken. People will choose to do what they want, whether right or wrong. My point. Why should it be where you have to point a finger at this group, at the churches, at that group, as though you're nitpicking when exactly what you said here is the point? People will do and choose to do what they want, whether right or wrong. Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But what we're seeing right now is that the laws are just being ignored. And I feel it is not a matter of ignoring. They're testing the waters to really see, are we really open for business on a Sunday? And let me tell you something. I challenge anyone to just break protocol maybe one Sunday and just go out. Maybe you may win some souls. Just go and look at it. This is not the Cayman that you're thinking of. The brunches, they're doing well. The brunches are doing well. The family celebrations. I'm seeing so much of our seniors celebrating birthdays and so forth by beautiful family brunches. You seeing 2 and 3 generations of family just out there being catered to with these brunches that start as early as 11 and go straight until 3:30. And then beyond that, there's continued celebration. And based on where you're having these, you're seeing people dressing and going to church. You see what I'm talking about? People should have choice. And these are well attended. And like I said, if I see certain places open on a Sunday, this is 2 Sundays now they miss me. I personally go in the next time I see them open because I am long overdue. And I am so happy because during the week, I'm just busy. Sandra beat me. But the next Sunday that I see them open, I'm going to support my own. Yeah. So you're quite right. Cameron says, Andre upon the mission. Brenda said, I also heard that there was a water. Oh, yes. Huge. Jamaica is having a huge water shortage. They're putting in, their restrictions have already started, Miss Brenda. Where it comes to watering your glass, and even the car wash companies were squealing out. and certain things you cannot do because the drought has impacted them so badly. Now, that brought up national conversation. Isn't Jamaica about the land of wood and water? But apparently, the reservoirs have not been maintained over the years. And now they have gotten to record levels that persons have to be put on, I guess, areas. Right now, they're rationing water. So what it has highlighted in Jamaica is poor infrastructure maintenance on their reservoirs. Yet they have so much rivers that people are wondering why. Why are you having a water shortage? Yeah, because of the natural springs and all the rivers and all this sort of stuff. Whatever these catchment basin and these reservoirs that they would have or have not over the years, if decades, have not been properly maintained, and now they're having a problem. So you are quite right. Cameron is saying, and any and everything under the sun can happen down there. Cameron saying, trail balloon sun soon run. Trail balloon soon run out of air. Don't want to hear I can't breathe. Andrew is saying, Cayman people don't cook home on Sundays anymore. They go to brunch. Let me tell you something, Andrew. That is taking up here by storm. And it's either they're there, or they're coming together as a family and they're doing their own thing, or if they're fortunate enough to have a friend who has a boat, they will go to the beach, they would go out on a boat, they would go to Stingray City, they would go up to Rum Point or whatever, or they just drive out to East End. Beautiful East End for the fish fry place. Oz is Grape Tree. But oh my gosh, East End is busy on a Sunday because you're right there on the water and it is so beautiful. Both Oz's and Grape Tree Cafe, I think Oz's is called Grape Tree, in Bodden Town, and East End right there behind the gas station. Beautiful, beautiful. And just to drive, if you're living in town and you want to go up that way, you take your family, you make the plan, you carpool. We have done that as a family many of times. We've carpooled and we either go driving and out. Oz, I can tell you, he's seen me at a local hangout. So it was a whole bus load of us, a family. We carpooled and we had a designated driver and we did it as a family event. That is something that we pretty much tried to do every Boxing Day. But more often, we will choose family gatherings and we will either meet at a family's house and we'll come together, or we'll say, oh, we're going to meet here for brunch, who can come as a family. So yeah, you're quite right. No, sometimes on a Sunday or a long weekend, we would meet at each other's house and we'll light up the grill. I love being behind a grill, but there's just times you just want to dress up and you want to go out and be catered to, right? Yeah, I'm seeing more and more of that happening. Sandra whipped you into shape, or what do you mean? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Cameron? The real Michelle Teresa said, if people start disrespecting or ignoring current laws, I fear the start of a very slippery slope to the lawlessness. If you choose which laws to abide by, there would be chaos. And Michelle, I said that earlier on. Yeah, we're seeing that. And it just requires political will to just do what you got to do. That's all it takes. Just little will. And take oneself out of it. Do a public discussion, but do not let a particular group or one particular subject steer the decision when it comes to exactly what we're talking about here: Sunday trade, extension of sale of liquor, and how you actually open on a Saturday night into a Sunday. Do not make the LGBTQ community, I got to come back to that, be the reason why it is, because then it's not fair to that group. This is a conversation that needed to be had a long time ago, before they went public with whatever this group is now that they're trying to formalize. This conversation has been brought up here at least 2 times in the year and change that I have been on this platform. We have brought it here. So yeah, that is the only thing. And I remember the holiday. Oh, that was the best. Look at you, Cameron. That was the best brunch. Oh my gosh. Yes. The old days of Holiday Inn brunch. Oh my goodness. You just took me way back. And there was a restaurant close to Lone Star before that big building that they knocked down now, and they're building this monstrosity. There was a restaurant, there was a hotel with white roofs in the back. They used to have a good Caribbean breakfast. I don't remember what that hotel, what their, no. They were known along the 7 Mile Beach. If you know where Lone Star is now, Santiago's restaurant or one of them, one Mexican restaurant used to be just before 19 Hole, across the road um, on the seaside. And I could see it now. It was white, and you would have to drive up in the big parking lot. And they were known for a very good Caribbean breakfast along the 7 Mile Strip. But yeah, Holiday Inn. Whoa, Cameron, you've just taken me back. Nostalgic moment. A whole pile. You us in heaps. Yes, Miss Britannica, or Britannia. It's where it is. I don't remember what it was called, but that was, to the best of my knowledge, being born in 1974. It was a hotel there. I'm looking at the existing building before Britannia and all of those other buildings, watercolors or whatever they're called now. Before they were built there. The mini roundabout, and then it was right there, was a huge parking lot, similar to how Royal Palms used to be. And they was a very boutique style type of condominiums before that was sold, and then it became this big building. But along 7 Mile Beach, to the best of my knowledge, even though Holiday Inn used to have some Caribbean flavors, they were known for their ackee and codfish, their callaloo, and all that sort of stuff back in the day. And that was good. That was good. Nostalgia confuse us. Let's keep it up to date times. Yeah, Hemingway's somewhere in around there, but it was before all of them. It was before all of them. Yeah. Miss Brenda, he is low in trouble. He is troubling. Anyway, be grateful it's not you. Oh my God. Miss Brenda, that is Cameron. Cameron keeps me on my toes. He puts all he's like one of those austerizer blenders. He just stirs it. He just stirs it. And but yeah, he is something else. When he is in fit form and shape, boy, Miss Brenda, he keeps me going. He keeps me going. But yeah, that is where we are. But on a wider scope of things, I still feel that we are one of the most blessed jurisdiction. We have to bring it home to reality. We are still one of the best places to live on the planet. With everything that is happening, when you look at, you may not agree with everything our leaders do at the pace, at the time, but when you look at what's happening around the world, and you look at what we have here, we still have a lot to be thankful for. We still have so much to be thankful for. Look at our economy. Yeah, it's expensive. It is expensive. But there's still a lot of opportunities here for job. People are still having a very high interest in doing business here. And even though it is harder for a lot of the locals right now to feel as though they're getting anywhere because of what's happening geopolitically and otherwise with what's happening in the markets, period, we're still got to be a blessed community. We're here in this live platform. We can go back into time. We can just have these conversations. These are really not huge issues in comparison to what other jurisdictions are going through. This is what I'm saying. We have the right size. We obviously have the funding if the community puts themselves behind it, become more vocal, speak out of things that they strongly believe in, and we just build this unity. We can be the gem or continue to raise the bar in this region. We still have so much to be thankful for. So much to be thankful for. But as Real Michelle Teresa said, we're going down a slippery slope. If we don't really just stop procrastinating is really what I want to say. And stop making decision because you're selfish. You're more concerned of your return, let's say, back to political office instead of making the right decision. Engage with your people, welcome the feedback, and nationally, people will have their say. Some of you don't make these decisions and regret you didn't do them, and you still don't be returned to office. You understand what I'm saying? And then you're ending up at the losing end of the field because, you wish you coulda, woulda. No, too late then. Communication is key. Respect who we are. We are a blessed nation, and we have a lot to be thankful for. So there we have it. That brings me to the end of today's episode. Mama, I know better than to trouble you. You are that Miss Brenda or what? Yeah, she a fire stick. That could be a match. Caymanians only exist in our hearts, and unfortunately, we don't have a Caymanian heart anymore. It's still there, Cameron. It's still there. For some reason, our environment has caused us to become more recluse. We are more measured with what we say because we're afraid, but yet you will sit down and watch everything being pulled away, being stripped away from us. And then we, make this one go in the front. Make that one talk about it. Ooh, not me. I know what to say about it. No. You see that could be to our own detriment. You stand for something. You hold hands. You come together and you stand up for what you believe in. You have each other's back. That's the only way we're going to preserve, protect, and keep who we are. Outside of that, somebody else will chart that course for us. But until we become more unified in understanding the power in unity and strength and sharing and caring and loving instead of just hating and divide because someone's accent, color of their skin, how they feel, instead of just being informed, we are heading down a slippery slope, but the heart is still there. We just need to come out of that. Whatever has diluted. Caymanians is known for fighters, for standing up. We would not have been where we are today if it wasn't for our forefathers standing and believing in each other, unified. What has happened? We're more into hate and discrimination and calling that one and calling. No, that's not who we are. That's not who we are. Let's band together. Let's show our unity. Let's share love and appreciation. And let's get those chains and hold hands together that, you know what? It does not matter if your accent is different. We come together, you respect our laws, you got your stuff through the right channels, and you have made the decision you want to be here, make Cayman your home. You stand for us, you respect us. Hey, join the chain. You're only as strong as your weakest link. Andrew, address the crack in the wall before the wall becomes tumbling down. Yes, Andrew, profound. Cameron says, money and cowardness, that's not Caymanian. Exactly. Annie's saying is a amen, and Real Teresa is saying, have the courage of your convictions, Cayman. Onwards and upwards, Cayman is a shining star with so much to be proud of. You are so right, Real Michelle. You know what? It is so obvious that we take it for granted. We don't even know what we have. We don't even know. And the power of strength, the power of unity, knowing your history, seeing where we're coming from, just respecting all of those people for getting us where we are today, for us now to just cower in a corner and just leave it for 2 or 3 people to say it. Nah, that know who we are. Oh no. Oh no. Just tell them, go talk to Jesus. Don't talk rats. Oh Lord. Cameron, fear of the future is the determinant of today. And that brings me to the end of Sabrina Speaks here today. Yes, I want to thank you all for your comments. Cameron kept me going. Oh God. Yes, real Michelle Teresa, it's so good to have you back with us. Good to have you with us. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. But thank you all for sticking and staying with me. Thank you, Miss Anita, for weighing in. Thank you, Andrew, all of you, Miss Dawn, all of you. You know, you get in trouble. Yeah. Donnie. Yeah. Connie B. Yes. North Carolina Love. Was he in school today? Was he in class today? Where's Marshall? Did he show up? Yeah. Anyhow, please do have a good evening. And yeah, do not cower in the corner. Let your voices be heard. Send me personalized message if there's something that you want us to bring a highlight more. And I will look at this fire that's in Jamaica at Hagley Park with this thing that Miss Brenda shared with us. And let me see if this has been updated. Nope, not yet. No, Stingray tour workers awarded over 90,000 following a court ruling. Oh yeah, that story and more is on CMR, and I'm quite sure she will be putting up some other news stories as the night progresses. Again, see you tomorrow. It's Friday. Yes, yes, yes. Open mic continues. Free Flow Friday here as we wind down the summer edition of open mic segments here on the Sabrina Speaks platform. As of Monday, we're going to get down a deep down dive into a lot of the bills that will be going to Parliament. And yes, we will be going back. But that's not to say that we're going to be so rigid that the platform is still not yours. Yeah, but we're going to get back to exactly what build a space and making sure we continue to do community awareness about a legislation that matters. But it does matter when you actually give your feedback. Remaining silent is not going to get us moving forward. Good night. Stay blessed. Love you lots. Until tomorrow. Take care.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.